The Canary Current. The Guinea Current flows eastwards along the Guinea coast with frequent cycles out to the sea, where it joins the South Equatorial Currents. The Canary Current flows southwards along the coast of Africa to Cape Blanc or Cape Verde, depending on the season, where it splits. One branch continues south along the coast, the other branch flows into the Atlantic and becomes the North Equatorial Currents. This strikes the American coast in a broad band from the Guineas through the Antilles. The strongest part of this current runs along the coast of Venezuela from Trinidad to the Guayana Peninsula. The coast of Senegal and Gambia was a propitious region indeed, for this was the Atlantic border of ancient Mali. It was one of the Senegal River into the Atlantic that a fleet of Abu Bakari, half-brother of Mansa Khan Musa, sailed from the West Indies. Benioch's father was of the Idrisids. So you all can understand, right, why people, before the continental drift, it was either the sails or a walkover, right? So it wasn't really like a hard match or anything for people to understand how the people from the different tribes reached in Trinidad. You understand, from the as they say, the Red Arabs, the descendants too, and the ancestors of the master teacher too. Those of, you'll understand where the Treaty of Peace and Friendship come in there with the Arabs from Morocco as well. You understand? And they as well ended up in Trinidad through the currents, because that was one of our talents. Kairi, Trinidad, Kairi, misnomer Trinidad. And that was one of our talents. You understand? Sailing the oceans, sailing the coast, and that's how, as you say, the facts here that they end up in Trinidad.
Yeah, and to add to what Kenny Met is saying, we indigenous to this whole planet. So we suggest travel. We travel and get traveling all over because the planet is ours, right? Tiamat now called planet Earth. Who are the Idrisids? Answer. The Idrisids were the earliest Islamic ruling dynasty of southern Morocco and Mauritania, who came into Morocco before the invasion by the Dogon Malians and the Senegalese in 1727 AD. The Dogon tribe of Mali produced many early sailors, such as Mansa Khan Musa, who sailed over to these shores in search of his half-brother Abu Bakari. Same father, different mother, who dropped Islam and sailed here to America in 1311 AD and mixed in with the Washita tribe as Olmecs, originally from Nauba, before they tied into the vines. When Abu Bakari, the half-brother of Mansa Khan Musa, arrived on the shores of America, there were already Naubans, which we all know as the Olmecs, here from Nauba of southern Sudan. The original 9 Eta woolly-haired beings, not the Nubians. The Olmecs are also referred to as the rubber people. They came here before the continental drifts by coming from the ancient. They came here before the continental drift by walking over here millions of years ago and setting up what is called Atlantis, coming from the ancient Mizraim language of Ashuric branch of the Kushite language, which can be found in Arabic as Atlan, from the root Atla, meaning to vacate, vacation, or travel to another place. So they named the place Atlan, which is dual in Arabic, explaining one for South America, which became a Mexem from Hexion and Aksum, the one for North America, which was Atlan. Kenny Met, where did the Naubans come from?
The Nubans, Nubians, or Nubians came from Nubia, a country in southern Sudan which included Ethiopia, originally called Aksum, Uganda, and Kenya. They are the original 9-eta woolly-headed beings, descendants of the Anunnaki. In the Nubian language, Nuba is said to mean gold. And here you will see like pictures of the original, like our ancestors. The face look familiar?
Watch my hair.
The face look familiar? Now what? This is in reference to the gold that was put under their feet. This gold can be traced in Genesis 2:12, where it says the gold in that land was good. The word being used is zahab, not nub. There are many different words for gold in the dialects of Noah seed. They are Bausha, Karut, Katam, Zagur, Foz, and Zahab. As you can see, Nub is not one of them. The word Nub or Nub is the root word of Nabi, Nubians or Nubians. It means color inclining to black. In reference to the Nubans, the kinky, woolly-headed people. When you look up the language of Nuba, you will see that it takes you back to a kind of Kushite dialect, which also includes the Hamites, the Tahites, and the Mizraimites, descendants of Noah and his sons. The original Nubans migrated from the Persian Gulf up into Sumer and set up 7 kingdoms: Tilmun, Salam, Mu, Lemira, Kodesh, Nepo, Ashkolan, Algibulan. Some stayed while others migrated west to Egypt and set up 7 more kingdoms: Sipa, Kish, Kuta, Surupak, Uruk, Hisin, and Iridu. Kish became Cush in the Bible after Noah's time. Put took over Libya. Cush took over Ethiopia and Sudan, and Mitzrayim took over Egypt. They also migrated over here to America and settled in what was then known as the land of the frogs. Who are the Olmecs and where did they come from, Naisu?
Answer. The Olmecs are the original woolly-haired, dark olive-toned people who originally came from Nauba of South and Central Africa. They walked over to America before the continental drift. The name Olmec was given to them by their children, the Aztec, many years after they migrated to America. The word Olmec means people of the rubber land. However, their original name is Nubans, from the word nub, nub. Most historians say that they don't know the origin of the Olmecs, while some historians claim that the Olmecs existed in America during the pre-Columbian era. Kenimet, why were the Nubans called Olmecs?
The Nubans were called Olmecs, dwellers of the riverland, by the Aztecs, because when they migrated to America, they brought along with them the rubber trees. They uprooted these trees and planted them here in America. As mentioned earlier, the Nubans walked over to America from Africa before the continental drift and became known as Olmec, rubber people. This is why when the Europeans came over, they saw that the natives were playing games with a bouncing ball made of rubber. The rubber was extracted from the trees that the natives call kukuku-uchu, a word meaning weeping wood, for the oozing fluid that came out of the trees. This fluid was systematically cultivated in pre-Columbian America, which is when the Olmec civilization existed. The Europeans took pieces of the gummy material back to Europe and tried to duplicate the water resistance product, such as shoes, coats, and capes of the native South Americans, and tried to duplicate the water resistance product, such as shoes, coats, and capes of the native South Americans. However, they were unsuccessful. The rubber samples that were brought back to Europe became merely a piece for the next 2 centuries. Rubber trees can be found in Central and South America, but mainly in Brazil along the Amazon Valley. Natural rubber trees can also be found in Central African countries, Liberia, Nigeria, and Zaire. Today, rubber is produced from a wide variety of plants, especially the Harvey brasiliensis, a tall, softwood tree native to Brazil, but also from species of Mabea, Maniha, Sapium, Fius, and others. Rubber is also produced from latex, which is produced from gum trees. These gum trees can only be found in Africa. This gum is called Arabic gum. It comes from a species of plant called Acacia. The finest quality of Arabic gum is found in Acacia, Senegal, from which this gum got its name. A fine quality of gum, Arabic, is also found in the northwestern countries of Africa. One of these countries is Mali, which was just one of the countries that made up the Malian kingdom, where Abubakar II, also known as Bubakari or Bugari, and Mansa Musa ruled before sailing on the African tides over to the shores of America.